Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you, Cat Fanac. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why that happened. Anyways, since you guys didn't hear what I said, my friend Bobby from Whatbox Studios said that, I said that if one person would donate at least one super chat to me, I'll do a Mr. Ballen live stream, and that's exactly what my friend Bobby did for me. So, because of that, now I'm gonna do what you guys asked, but I had to find a perfect time in order to do this. But before I do, I'm gonna show you guys something real quick. This is my gaming channel. The link is in the description. My friend, Mando Machine, that's about first from that X brother. Look, yeah, this is a video I did like 4 days ago. It premiered. Speaking of Mando Machine, he uploaded his own version or own perspective of.
I already started my recording.
Oh, forgot the bathroom.
He got shaders on too as well. Maybe I'll try to do a test stream for my gaming channel to see if I can get the shaders. I mean, I got the shaders working, but I don't know if it's going to run smoothly when I record something or live stream it. But I will do that test at some point.
Hey, Terry,
Yeah.
Hey, Terry, do you want to design the next game?
Alright, I'm going to switch back. Hold on. I have like a join thing. I now have a membership thing. To review it to you guys, you can get early access to new videos, like early access to Violent First Sins videos. Member shoutouts, that is $1 a month. You can get members only live chats. Right now I don't have this on members only, of course, because I don't have enough people joining yet. Member shoutouts, exclusive photos, members only videos, and members only streams. And then you can then members only shorts and members only polls, so you guys can figure out where you want this content to go. So yeah, that's what I'm offering. And I have the super chat option. Yeah, you guys, members gifting. You have 10 memberships left. I can gift. Oh, okay, that's great. I'm gonna wait for more people. I'm gonna wait for more people to join first, so that way I'll gift it to you guys somehow. I'll gift it. I can't go onto this page because for whatever reason I need to fix this shit. Why? Something wrong? That needs to be fixed. Okay, I want to do like spooky ghost-like themes. Any more people that are watching the chat, address yourself. But that's cool though. I can do members gifting. Get 1 month access perks from Bronze Warrior. Hey Corn. Does it cost to gift something? Oh, okay. Oh shit. Oh my god, wow, okay. Well, you guys are now members now. Wow. Wow. Wow, that's awesome. I could actually do that now. I don't know. I know that a lot of you. I'm only. This is a Mr. Ballen stream, so I promise that if I was donated at least one super chat, just one, and it doesn't have to be crazy amount of money, just one, and I got $1.99, which is $2, and now I'm like, screw it, I just had to pick a perfect time to do this, and now you guys are. I finally got members now. All I had to do was to gift you guys, and I know a lot of you guys probably don't have enough money to afford. I mean, I'm not saying you're broke, but I know you guys are not made of money, so I'm not gonna try to empty your pockets just so you guys can join the membership. It was just me promoting it, and letting you guys know, hey, you can now do this now. I discovered your channel a few days ago and started watching the Vive First reactions. Yeah. You guys can now get early access to Violet First videos for now on. But right now, this Violet First Sins video, my video with Williams Daylight Savings Meltdown, that is coming later, and also it's a premiere.
That all you sons of... The one video that all you sons of bitches have been waiting for. Everything wrong with Williams Daylight Savings Meltdown. Don't miss the premiere. If you want, you can support Drew Luther with a super chat. If the premiere is done, then you can give him a super thanks. And join membership to get early access.
He should have learned how to cook his own food at 14 and do chores to take up the charge of his own clothes and dishes. Yeah, he should have. I agree.
To Violet First Sins videos, sneak peeks, and members-only live streams. Everything wrong with Williams Daylight Savings Meltdown. Coming March 9th, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. That is unless Daylight Saving changes it to 5 o'clock. But if you're like Violet First fanatic, who lives in New Zealand, then this video will premiere on March 10th, 10 o'clock. Unless Daylight Savings changes it to 11 o'clock. Don't miss it.
Yeah, I made that trailer all by myself. Let me quickly go to YouTube Studio to see the stats now. Membership. Recent members, okay. Welcome, N.A. Guzman, Chris, Admin, 17GS, and JJ. Welcome, guys. You guys are my first members. I thought it'd be nice to kind of gift you guys so you don't have to pay. Because I know it does cost money to become a member. So I get it. So I thought it'd be easier to gift you guys some. So, welcome, guys. Welcome. You guys now have... Now that you guys are members... Let's see. Join membership. I'm going to say this again. Now, alright, last night, you guys can now get early access to new videos, member shoutouts, members only live chats, hey TDM movies, exclusive photos, members only videos, and members only live streams. Yeah, the stickers, yeah, I know, the stickers, yeah, I know. You guys can now do stickers. Members only shorts. Can you do members only? Okay, no. Member shoutouts. You can get the behind the scenes of Benny and the Fallen Tales, of certain clips and shots I did of what it took to make the series. This short, but it's members first. It's not going to be available until after the premiere. And then raw footage of me playing with Five vs. Fnatic. And now you guys can get members only stuff. Okay, I'm going to react to this one video just for my fan. One of my fans. Because turns out I've reacted to the wrong video somehow. I thought I was reacting to the right video, but I guess not. I'm just gonna react to this one video, then the rest of it is just gonna be Mr. Ballen live streams. Okay, I guess it's a different channel then. Send me the link. While I'm waiting, I'm gonna post something like this. I'm going to be sending you members, sending to you members, a chat, and those of you who are members are going to see it. Okay, I'll try to look it up then. Have you ever watched Doug? He's pretty funny. He does the same events with his Twitch streamers. No, I never heard of Doug. I'm sorry, dude. If it's from if he's from Twitch, then it kind of makes sense why I don't know him, because I don't really go to Twitch that often. Okay, it's a video game? I thought it was a skit. Doug has at least a couple million subs combined on all of his YouTube channels. He posts like shortened versions of the stream events like 1 to 3 times a month. Oh. Okay. I saw your chat, admin. Your reply. There's more that you requested. I better not decline. Well, I'll try, okay, but... Oh, that sucks. I mean, it sucks that the otter died. Oh, okay. Okay. Out of curiosity. The rest of it is just him. Okay, that's just a game. I don't know what other... I know, dude, but hold on. I'm just curious to see what this stuff is about. You do a lot of different content. Oh, the fucking Caillou Go Animate videos. Oh, my sister used to drive me crazy with those videos. Yeah, I agree, admin. Alright, let's do the rider from... what is the most interesting thing that sounds a little bit scary? Yeah, 6 years ago, more than 6 years ago, almost like 10 years ago, my sister used to drive me crazy with those videos, like, where the characters go, oh, robotically, like, that drives me nuts, and... maybe I'll do it later, dude, but right now I'm doing a Mr. Ballen stream, okay? I just reacted to this one video just to be nice. Okay? Alright, small town mysteries. Everyone's already dead. Hold on. Plus Rider from Hell. Oh, man. Shock incident. You can touch him, but you can't help him. What? Oh, God. What's going on over there? Phobia triggers. Oh, God. This is gonna... the most extreme revenge I ever heard. Oh, my God. Oh, I like to see this. Oh, we'll react to this. I want to see, like, something like spooky monster ghost-like stuff. Creatures. Okay, we'll react to these two videos, and depending on how much love you guys show, I'll also do more. There's also more stickers that you guys can use. Why more people don't watch this channel? I find it pretty funny. Which channel? Mr. Ballen or my channel? If people want to subscribe to your me, well, part of it could be because I would kind of lay off with uploading sometimes, and sometimes my content would be inconsistent, which is my mistake. But now I'm finally gotten to the point where I can actually do the same type of content, like do reaction videos. Maybe do some Gary Smod skits because I love entertaining people, and maybe a little bit of movie reviews one day. Maybe. TDM, if somebody wants to react to your, wants to subscribe to your channel, that's their choice. We're gonna react to this one.
Do you really want to spend the rest of your life watching ads? Guys, just download Pi. It's a free Google Chrome extension and it basically blocks.
Speaking of ads, I forgot to show.
Today's story is...
I forgot to show you guys something. I now have 3,460 public watch hours. I'm close to getting 4,000, so I can get ads on my videos. But don't worry, I'm gonna try to find a perfect time. Hey, Rageface, Tokyo. I'm gonna try to big whoop what TDM movies. I'm gonna try to put ads to where they don't interrupt the mood for you guys, and alright. I'm just a shorts channel, but I've made pretty decent falling off the shorts and vids I got. Oh, good for you, dude. Good for you. Oh my god, a gay meter, the LGBTQ test. Oh my god. Alright. Let's go.
Today's story is about a 3-year period where people were going missing at an alarming rate, and no one knew why. Eventually, it was discovered, and let me tell you, it is absolute nightmare fuel. But before we get into that story, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place because that's all we do, and we upload once a week. So, if that's of interest to you, please offer to walk the Like Button's dog, but then just immediately go sell their dog in the parking lot of a big box store. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. Okay, let's get into today's story. Early on the morning of January 12th, 1765, a 12-year-old boy named Jacques Portufis sat up suddenly in his bed.
Compared to other reaction channels, I've watched this, and this one deserves a bigger following. Oh, thank you, dude. This goal is just a goal. Alright.
65, a 12-year-old boy. Early on the morning of January 12th, 1765, a 12-year-old boy named Jacques Portufis sat up suddenly in his bed, breathing hard. The room was pitch black that he was in, but he could feel he was sweating and his heart was racing, and he tried to shake his head to kind of wipe the nightmare he had just had from his mind, but he just couldn't do it. All he could think about was how in this nightmare, something had been chasing him, and he had been running for his life, and he was trying to get away, but whatever...
You made You're Sorry, Jeffy? I think somebody else did an I'm Sorry, Jeffy video. I think it was Shark that did an I'm Sorry, Jeffy video. Because that looks like the video that I've just reacted to.
This thing was, this horrible beast that was following him, it just kept getting closer and closer and closer until it finally got him, and that's what woke him up. Jacques reached up and touched his face, and he realized he was crying, and he quickly wiped the tears away because he didn't want any of his brothers or sisters to see that he was crying. Jacques was the oldest of 8 kids in his family, and all of them slept in the same small room on straw-filled mattresses inside of their family's little cottage in the southern...
Damn, good for him. I'm not expecting you guys to donate me that much, okay? You don't have to, okay? I mean, at least $1 would be fine. I don't care. I just want to get a little bit of revenue, like, at least to where I can verify my information once I get a state ID, so I can get paid on YouTube. That's just it, guys. That's why I put it on all colors, so it doesn't matter how much money you guys give me. I don't care if you donate me $1. Just letting you know, it's enough. React to, I'm sorry, Jeffy, I'll add you as a mod. Do you even stream, dude? Like, dude, I swear to you, that looks like the same type of video I've seen before. That's fine, dude. No rush, no pressure, okay? You don't have to. You don't have to. I'm in no rush. It's not like if you don't donate to me in a week or two, the whole world is gonna end. That looks like the same similar video that I've watched before. Dude, oh my god. Oh my god. Are you copying somebody else's video? I guarantee you. I guarantee you that you copied some... Hold on. Shark, hold on. My YouTuber, hold on. The guy who watches my videos... Hold on, shit. Let me go to... I'm sorry, guys. I have to pause the reaction. I recently got... Oh my god, thank you, Rageface Tokyo, for the $2. Thank you, dude. Thank you, dude. That was nice of you. Look.
How come our town is always randomly giving out large amounts of money?
Hold on. Let me find... What the fuck? Why did it... No, dude. I did not click that. Sorry, I have to pause the reaction.
How come our town is always randomly giving out large amounts of money for the stupidest...
I recently got some money as a birthday, and I'm waiting for a computer, so the card doesn't get hacked again. Okay. I just made the same video, not copy it, and did not know Shark had that. You did not know, dude? Okay, I'm gonna look. Actually, I could just look it up on YouTube Studios. I'm sorry. This is from Shark.
I'm Drew Luther, and I'm going to be, before I tell you what I'm going to be reacting to.
YTP, I'm sorry, Jeffy. I reacted to this video back in January 14th, 2024. That's crazy. That's been a year ago.
To videos that I reacted to the other day.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Jeffy. I'm a little curious. Well,
look at this shit.
Hell yeah, boy. I call Junior did.
Dude. You just copied Shark's video. This is Shark's video. Oh my god. January 13th, 2024, and you posted this 3 days ago, March 3rd. Why the hell would you do that, TDM? I'm gonna have to fucking report you to this shit, dude. Why? You did not make it, dude. You took Shark's video and re-uploaded it yourself. Love your videos. Yeah, thank you, Rageface. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I forgot to read the chat. What the hell, TDM or Keon? Where the hell you want to call yourself now? He just copied Shark's video. One of the people that watch my videos, my SML reaction videos. Hold on a second. Is this? Oh my god, you even commented on it. I'll be a son of a bitch. You are dope as shit. Your videos are good as crap fire. Good support for you, buddy. All my heart goes. This was 6 months ago, and I just subbed. This was 6 months ago, and he re-uploaded this video a few days ago. Yeah, he was caught in 4K, Rage Face. Oh my god. So, he thought it was so cool, he probably uploaded it. I mean, I knew I saw this video before. You wanted me to react. Whoops. Well, dude, I'm not. You wanted me to react to it. I already did react to it a year ago. And look, you didn't even match it at the same aspect ratio either. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Stats for nerds. This was at a 1152 by 720 aspect ratio. So it doesn't really fit the entire screen because there's some black bars over there. And there's a top and bottom one. And Shark uploaded at the perfect, more necessary aspect ratio, 1920 1080p. Yeah, whoops is not gonna fix it, dude. You can't whoops is when you accidentally do something, okay? You can't accidentally do that shit, dude. You can't. I don't care if you're a nerd or not, dude, but come on. You just took Shark's idea. I don't even know. I wonder, should I wish I could report it knowing that this person's copying somebody else's video. Dude, you got caught, dude. You got caught red-handed. Those of you who know Shark's channel, also send him this part of the video. Cool Tommy 1980 re-uploaded this video on his channel. If you're gonna do a reaction video, that's completely different. I react to videos, I'm commentating on them, and I always leave a link in the description of the original video who created the video. This is crazy work, and he could sue too. Yeah, he could. He really fucking could. I know, I do look a little bit older than 19. I got a little bit whiskers growing out again after I shaved a couple days ago. Yeah, I'm about to be 20 on April 12th, so my birthday is in a month right now. Yeah. I get that a lot. I do look older. Yeah. I know, Corn. Right now, I'm not going to worry about this. I'll talk to Shark about it. I'm just going to focus on this video. But TDM movies, you got caught red-handed. I could have sworn I saw that video. I think that people have a bunch of subs, can see videos, sold their content, and you can see the percentage of the videos they stole. No timeout. I kind of have to, dude. Okay? But I'm not going to time you out all the time. I'm just 30 minutes. Alright. Oh yeah, he will. I can't believe it. Alright. Let's go.
Was the oldest of 8 kids in his family, and all of them slept in the same small room on straw-filled mattresses inside of their family's little cottage in the southern...
Awesome, great, dude. I got the same amount of money on my graduation present when I graduated high school. If you guys keep watching my content, and you don't have to send money, but you could at least show the love and support and help my channel grow, maybe I'll gift you guys membership again once the 1 month goes up. The 1 month is over.
All room on straw-filled mattresses inside of their family's little cottage in the southern French province of Gévaudan. And so, Jacques, he's looking around the bedroom to make sure none of his siblings had woken up and seen him in this state, and he was relieved to see that they were all still fast
You named yourself Sad Satan? What the hell, dude?
asleep. Everybody made fun of Jacques for being a scaredy cat, for being a coward. And to Jacques, this really hurt his feelings because on some level, he knew it was kind of true. In fact, just a couple of months earlier, he had lost in a physical fight with a much younger boy, and afterwards, Jacques had cried, and the whole town had seen this happen, and so afterward...
Okay, thank you, dude. I meant, like, gift membership, just a reward for you guys for watching more of my videos. That's why I meant. But you're welcome, dude.
And afterwards, Jacques had cried, and the whole town had seen this happen, and so afterward, all the kids began calling Jacques the wet chicken, and even Jacques' brothers and sisters began joining in and calling him the wet chicken, and really making him feel totally ashamed. And it wasn't like the adults in this village were stepping up and protecting Jacques, because to them, Jacques was kind of like a liability. In this part of France, the winters were brutal. People died all the time in this village from the weather. And then the summers brought all these outbreaks of disease, which wiped out even more people in this village. And so by and large, where Jacques lived, it was kind of like the survival of the fittest. And many kids didn't live that long unless they were really hardy and tough, like their parents who had managed to survive.
Appreciate it, Admin. Appreciate it.
That long unless they were really hardy and tough like their parents who had managed to survive for that long. But Jacques was just not like that. He was very gentle and peaceful, yet somehow he had survived. And Jacques really was not trying to become this kind of macho guy. Instead, he really wanted to be a priest like his uncle. But his uncle lived far away, and so it was tough to see his uncle all that often, to learn about, how to become a priest. But
hey, Shark, you're not gonna believe this. I found something out over here. You're not gonna believe this. This dude... Okay, look, I just found this video named, it's Keon. This is Keon over here. He's the one who commented on your video about this original thing, about this video that you did that I reacted to a long time ago. You know the I'm sorry Jeffy video, which I'm sure you have because you're the one who made it. A video that I reacted to a year ago. This guy who commented on your video said it was awesome. He took it and re-uploaded it a few days ago. He literally copied this shit, dude. When I scrolled down to his channel and I saw the video, I'm like, wait, is that the video I've reacted to before? And it was. So yeah, that's what happened, Shark. Is this one of the monthly live streams, or do you stream more often now? I think you mentioned something to schedule fix or something. Yeah, I kind of screwed up my sleep schedule again a little bit. Monthly, it depends on what you guys want. Like, sometimes I do streams to catch up, do like a long live stream mega reaction of 4 videos to catch up on a lot of videos. Yeah, sad Satanist Keon. Keon, why would... Yeah, why, dude? When I do reaction videos, I always credit somebody for it. And I always post a link in the description of the original video if somebody wants to check out the video themselves instead of just watching me react to it and hearing me rant about it. If this was a reaction video, this would be different. I did a reaction video to it, and I gave Shark credit for it.
And so it was tough to see his uncle all that often, to learn about, how to become a priest. But anytime Jacques did get a chance to actually see his uncle, he would have a chance to read all these books and
React to Ice Cream Man helped me, but... Dude, I just reacted to your video, unless you want me to react to it later on. Streamers, but there is really no smaller channel streaming over, so I just resort to watching just videos. Okay, cool.
Study alongside his uncle, and so for a little while, it was like Jacques was transported away from the hardships of his village to the life that in many ways he wished he had. A quiet, peaceful, very studious life. But deep down, Jacques felt like there was no chance he would ever actually escape this little village where he effectively was an outcast.
Aw, poor kid.
What does your video sound
Such
like?
asshole.
Go to artlist.io and get the best music and sound effects for your videos. This.
Even though the sun had not risen yet, Jacques just sat on his bed and couldn't fall asleep again after waking up from this nightmare. And so just sitting there in the dark and the quiet, Jacques began to think about what he had to do later that day when the sun did come up. And like usual, Jacques started to feel afraid. And so Jacques eventually just laid down with his eyes open, and he laid there until dawn when one of his younger brothers, named Jean, who was 8 years old, rolled over and pushed him and said, "Hey, wet chicken, it's time to get up. It's our day with the sheep. Let's go." Jacques scowled at his younger brother and shoved him back, but not that hard, because Jacques never really shoved anybody that hard, no matter what they did to him. And then both
Mostly post a red note, not on YouTube anymore, and want to scream, but nervous of doing so. What are you talking about? Jacques-Pierre Francois, oh, the SML character who's supposed to be Jeffrey's birth father. Oh my god, I did not realize that. I did not put that together, dude.
Both boys hopped out of their bed, they wolfed down some bread and cheese, and then headed out the door. As soon as they were outside, Jacques noticed that the village was much quieter than it normally was. But then again, these days, villagers did not leave their homes unless they absolutely had to. And so, Jacques and Jean made their way away from their cottage, down the dirt road to the pen where their family kept all of their sheep, and the boys opened up the gate and then used their staffs to kind of corral the sheep out of the gate back onto the road. And as the sheep kind of bleated and baaed and bumped into each other, the boys...
Oh wait, the stream is what you meant? Red note, what do you mean red note? Are you talking about like giving me $100 or something? Not that you have to, but I'm just asking if that's what you meant.
Worked hard to kind of organize them on the road, and then once the sheep understood which direction they were going, towards the forest, a very familiar walk for the sheep, they kind of fell into line.
Oh, you want to stream? Okay, not scream. Okay, I see what you mean. Okay, admin, that's fine.
And just began walking very casually, like they knew exactly where to go. And once the sheep had fallen into this kind of routine rhythm, Jacques and Jean fell in behind them and just walked quietly after them. And as the boys walked, they both constantly kept looking left and right and ahead of the sheep and behind them, constantly scanning for danger, because they knew something was out here. For months now, children all across this province in France, Gévaudan, had been going missing. They'd go off into fields or pastures, like when they're moving their family's livestock around, and the kids would just vanish. And then sometimes, if they were found again, they'd be found totally mutilated far from where they should have been. The attacks on these kids across Gévaudan had begun a year earlier on June 30th, 1764. On that day, a 14-year-old girl, who actually was the older sister of one of Jacques' friends, had disappeared and then been found again later that day, partially eaten in a field near her home after she had not come home with the family's cattle. Now, of course, this was very tragic, but to this point, there had not been any other attacks, so there was no pattern here, and so the assumption was she must have been attacked by a wolf, which did happen, and often two children, because kids at this time in France were often in charge of tending to their families' grazing animals, the way Jacques and Jean were going out with their sheep. You know, these kids were small, they couldn't really defend themselves, and if a wolf set onto them, there was very little they could do. But 5 weeks after this 14-year-old girl was found dead and mutilated in the field, 2 more teenagers were also found mutilated and dead in a field. And really, this was only the beginning. As summer turned to fall that year, more and more kids went missing and then turned up dead in fields, partially mutilated. And the more these attacks happened across southern France, the more people thought to themselves, this can't be a wolf. Number one, wolves don't go on extended human killing sprees. That's just not a thing. And number two, if it was a wolf, they would be eating more of their victims. They wouldn't just rip their body to shreds and then leave them. They would eat the meat. And so by this early January day in 1765, as Jacques and Jean were setting out for the day with their family's sheep, the death toll from whatever was killing these kids was now well into the dozens. People in France had begun calling whatever was killing these children the Beast of Gévaudan, and stories about this creature began popping up in newspapers all over France. People all across southern France began forming these huge hunting parties to go out into the forests and the wilds of Gévaudan to find this creature and kill it, but they would always come back empty-handed. And then every now and again, a hunter would be out and they would see a huge wolf and they would kill it and they would declare that they had found and killed the Beast of Gévaudan. But the attacks on these kids all across this province just continued. So obviously that wolf was not it. And so as these attacks continued, all the fairs and festivals that normally would pop up all year long, all across southern France, those all stopped because people were afraid to go out in fear of this creature. And then of course,
yeah, that's fucked up, Keon.
In villages like Jacques' village, people really just stopped going out unless they had to, again, because of the Beast of Gévaudan. But Jacques and Jean's family relied on their livestock and they needed their sheep to go out and graze. And so on this day in January, Jacques and Jean had to go out because their sheep had to graze. Their family relied on the sheep, livestock was their livelihood, and so this was a mandatory thing. If you're enjoying today's story, well, I have exciting news for you. My long-awaited very first book is out right now. It's called Mr. Ballen Presents Strange, Dark, and Mysterious, The Graphic Stories, and it's shipping worldwide right now. This graphic novel was truly a labor of love, but I can tell you it came out just beautiful, and I think you're going to love it as much as we do.
Wow.
It has 4 feature-length, brand new stories, one of which you're listening to right now, along with 5 OG classic Mr. Ballen stories that have all been reformatted and re-edited to fit this book. If you want to purchase a copy of this bad boy, just go to book.ballenstudios.com, or you can go wherever books or audiobooks are sold. And speaking of audiobooks, if you enjoy hearing me tell you stories, well, guess what? There is an audiobook version of this. And I can tell you, when I recorded said audiobook...
Oh, I didn't know you had a daughter. Okay, it's important. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I got really into it and kind of, at times, went off script, kind of dramatically so. And so it winds up being this really cool accompanying piece to the graphic novel, but it's also a really unique standalone Mr. Ballen piece. So it's like a really cool thing to get that is not just a regurgitation of what you read in the book. It's its own thing. Again, my first book, Mr. Ballen Presents Strange, Dark, and Mysterious, The Graphic Stories, is out right now and shipping worldwide. Go to book.ballenstudios.com or anywhere else books are sold to get your copy today.
Let's go, baby.
Now that's where an advertisement should happen.
As Jacques and Jean continued walking behind their herd of sheep down this dirt road towards the forest, the 2 boys eventually came to a stop and just turned around and looked back at their village, and they saw walking on the road towards them were 5 more kids, along with 2 additional herds of sheep that these 5 kids were in charge of. Ever since the Beast of Gévaudan had become a thing, Jacques and Jean had begun tending their sheep along with these 5 kids and their sheep. They figured the bigger their group was, the safer they were from this creature. As the 5 kids got closer to Jacques and Jean, Jacques realized that one of the kids that was with them this day was a tall, thin redhead. It was the same younger boy who had recently beaten Jacques up in front of the village, and he had cried and everyone had made fun of him. And so Jacques sees this kid coming, and immediately he can feel his face burning with embarrassment. And then the boy, he sees Jacques, and he immediately smirks and begins flapping his arms like chicken wings. But once these 5 kids and their sheep joined Jacques and Jean and their sheep, they all kind of just went quiet, because none of them wanted to be out there. They were all scared of the beast of Gévaudan, and the only reason they were together was, again, to be safe from this creature that was killing kids left and right. And so, in relative silence, all of the kids and their sheep just slowly walked together down this dirt path, and eventually they made it into the big forest, where just beyond the forest was the pasture where these sheep would graze. And as the group actually entered into the trees and it became dark and more quiet and kind of eerie, Jean actually tugged on Jacques' shoulder and said, "Will you please tell a story?" Because Jean was scared too. The kids were all scared, and they figured, if Jacques just told a story, it would take their mind off of how tense this moment was. And when Jacques heard this request, he actually smiled, because this was something he loved to do. He was a great storyteller. It was like his...
I'm back. Yes, I have a daughter. Well, it's online, but I see her as my daughter. It makes sense. Okay, then.
One strength. When Jean had asked for the story, the kids and the sheep had actually made it to really the end of the forest path, and so by the time Jacques was about to start his story, all the sheep had made their way out of the forest onto this big open pasture right in the middle of the forest. And so as the sheep just kind of filtered out into this open area, Jacques stopped, and all the kids kind of came up right behind him, and Jacques started his story by pointing across the pasture to this bog that was right at the base of this big hill, and he said, "Do you see those big rocks in that bog over there? Well, you see the biggest rock? Well, that's not really a rock. It's actually a doorway, and if you move the rock underneath it, there's a portal to another world." And so as Jacques began telling this very creative story about this kingdom that existed underneath the bog, he sat down against a rock, kind of facing out towards the sheep, and all the other kids kind of filed in around him, taking seats, with Jean, his brother, sitting right behind him to his right. And Jacques, he was just really into the story, to the point where he kind of forgot about what was happening with the sheep, and he wasn't scanning around for danger, and neither were any of the kids, including the redhead who had beaten Jacques up. He wanted to act like he wasn't into his story, but in reality, he totally was, and he was just as interested in what was going on with the magical kingdom below this rock. And finally, when Jacques got to the end of his story, where this evil giant that had been tormenting the kingdom under the bog had been tricked by an orphan to try to go through this magical portal into their world, and the giant had gotten stuck in the doorway because he was so big, and he never tormented the kingdom again, and they lived
Thank you, Ark, for the $2. You're welcome, dude. I felt like you needed to know. I thought it was important that you should know that's what happened, so you're welcome.
happily ever after. When Jacques got to that point in the story and all the kids are totally locked in and not paying attention to anything else, two things happened in rapid succession. The first was, even though Jacques is telling the story and focusing on that, in the back of his mind, he registers hearing the...
Keon, right now, nobody really... Look, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but dude, we can't watch a stream after what you just did, dude, okay?
Sound of twigs breaking somewhere right behind him, almost like the sound of someone or something moving along the forest floor. And the second thing that happened was the red-headed kid who had beaten up Jacques, without saying a word, just stood up and began sprinting towards the pasture. And for a moment, Jacques thought this kid, who was kind of like a bully, was doing this on purpose, to be rude to Jacques, to kind of run away at the climax of the story like he didn't care about it. But then Jacques realized that he smelled something terrible behind him. But when Jacques turned around to see what was making this smell, he saw that his brother, Jean, who had been sitting right behind him to his right, was now gone, and where he had been sitting was just his staff laying on the ground. And for a second, Jacques just couldn't process what his eyes were seeing. He didn't understand how his brother could have gotten away from him without him noticing. But before Jacques could do anything, all the kids around him that were still there began screaming and pointing up towards this hill that was right behind them. And so Jacques turned around, and to his horror, he saw there was this huge 12-foot tall creature that was covered in fur. It looked like an oversized wolf, but it was standing on two legs, and its bones seemed like they were too big for its own skin, and it made it seem very angular and jagged. And as it kind of loped grotesquely up the hillside, Jacques realized it was carrying in its front arm Jean, who was screaming and kicking but could not get away from this creature. Jacques understood that this was the beast of Gévaudan, and it was going to go kill his brother. And immediately Jacques is thinking, you gotta run away, get to safety, get out of here. And all the kids around him, that's what they did. They took off running towards the pasture. They didn't care about Jean, they only cared about themselves. And so Jacques, he knows.
Fuck. I mean, I kind of get it more for you, but this is the best I can do right now. I appreciate the loyalty and friendship that you have shown me for the past year. It's alright, dude. Donate what you can, okay? Alright? Donate exactly what you can, alright? I don't want to empty y'all's pocket, so this super chat thing is still new to me, so I'm trying to find a balance by promoting, letting you guys know, hey, this option is available, while not trying to do it too much. Not try to be demanding, just letting you know. I'm going to be back at 9 o'clock, or in 45 minutes if you're in Eastern Time. Yeah, Eastern Time. I live in North Carolina right now.
Knows he needs to get away, save himself, but his legs just will not move. He is rooted to the spot because something inside of him told him he has to save his brother. It doesn't matter if everyone thinks he's a coward. That's his brother. He needs to do something. And so Jacques, he turns to the kids who are running away from him, and he screams at them to stop, come back. And the kids were so surprised to hear this strong, authoritative voice coming out of the wet chicken that they did stop and turned around to see what he wanted. And he said, get over here. I have a plan. And so the kids, with the exception of the redhead who had run off by himself, they came back to Jacques, and Jacques began telling them his plan to save Jean. And the kids, again, were so taken with how Jacques was really owning this moment and being a leader that they all said, okay, let's do this. And so after this very...
The one kid that everybody called a coward and said was a wet chicken is now showing some balls he has on him right now. That's interesting. I know, like, yeah, sometimes the Mr. Ballen videos kind of make you fall asleep, but sometimes it can get really intense that you just get glued into the stories. So, I'm sorry if this is making you sleepy, rage face.
A quick planning meeting, all the kids turned and began running up the hillside towards the beast of Gévaudan, with Jacques in the front with his staff out. And the kids gained on the beast really quickly, and the creature clearly noticed and kept turning around and kept looking at these kids getting closer and closer, but the beast did not seem interested in any of them. It just wanted Jean, and in fact it moved Jean from its arm up into its mouth, and then the creature began kind of using the trees to pull itself faster and faster away from the kids. But Jacques, he just kept going faster and faster and pushing himself to get closer and closer, and as he did, it motivated the other kids to follow along and push it and gain on this creature. And finally, they got close enough to this beast that Jacques yelled out to the kids, now! And they all fanned out around it and began smashing this beast with their staffs they used to shepherd their livestock. Now, none of their blows to this creature were doing any real damage, and the creature did not really seem fazed that the kids were now attacking it, but they were kind of able, with their strikes to this creature, to direct it and get it to kind of turn in the direction that Jacques had told them to make the creature go. And so the kids continued to beat and poke and corral this creature, and every time they'd hit it, the beast would kind of flail out with one of its arms, but it never really did anything because, again, it's really focused, obviously, on taking Jean. But eventually, Jacques' plan worked. He had corralled the creature to the top of the hillside, right over where that bog was, where those rocks in the middle were part of the story that Jacques had told about how there was this portal to another world. And once this creature was positioned where Jacques wanted it, he again yelled to the kids to do the next phase of their plan. And all the kids kind of fanned out to the top of the hill, and with their staffs, they beat and poked this creature down the hill into the bog. And as they did this, Jacques kept looking to see if Jean was alive, because earlier he had been screaming and kicking, but now there was blood all over his brother and he was limp in the creature's mouth and he wasn't making any sound. But Jacques didn't care. He wanted to get his brother back, dead or alive. And so finally, Jacques stepped forward from the group and he wound up and he smashed the beast as hard as he could, hard enough that the beast actually kind of stumbled forward into the actual marshy bog. And what Jacques knew about this bog and why he had come up with that particular story about there being a gateway to another world is weeks earlier, he had actually accidentally stepped into this bog and saw it was really deep. And he had been lucky enough that he had grabbed a rock and kind of pulled himself out, because if he hadn't, the bog kind of functioned like quicksand. You could get stuck in the bog and never get out again. And this is what happened to the beast of Gévaudan. It went feet first into the one spot of the bog that Jacques had had all the kids corral it to, that was the deepest and most dangerous part. And as soon as the beast stepped into it, it sunk down to its waist. And immediately the beast reached out with its huge muscular arms and tried to pull itself out of the bog, but it couldn't. It was stuck. And so in its panic, it let go of Jean from its mouth, and it actually turned around and it looked at Jacques and the other kids. And when it did, Jacques almost lost his nerve, because when he saw this thing face to face up close, he saw this was not a wolf's face. This was almost like a human face. Its eyes were making distinct eye contact with Jacques, and it was furious. It was like the beast understood that Jacques had just trapped it. He had tricked the beast into walking into this bog, and it wanted to kill Jacques. And for a moment, Jacques was totally entranced by this creature's eyes. It just struck him that this looks human. It looks intelligent. What is this thing? And while Jacques was kind of in this daze, the creature reached forward and slashed his stomach wide open, and Jacques fell backwards on the ground, but luckily he was far enough away from the beast that he couldn't be pulled back in. And in this kind of frantic moment, one of the other kids saw an opportunity and ran forward, grabbed Jean, who was laying on the surface of the bog, and he pulled him away from the beast. And the beast whipped around. He tried to grab Jean, but he couldn't. And so all of a sudden, all these kids were safely away from the beast of Gévaudan, who was totally trapped. And so at this point, the other kids who were not hurt, they scooped up Jacques and they scooped up Jean, and they began running away from the bog across the pasture back towards the village, leaving the beast where it was. And as they ran, they heard it bellowing out and roaring and trying to pull itself out, but it still just remained in the bog. And finally, as they got back to that dirt path that led back to the village, they saw there was a group of armed villagers running towards them, because it would turn out the redhead who had ran off, he had told the village, and they were coming out to help the kids. And so as the armed villagers met with the kids, they told them where the beast was, stuck in that bog, and the villagers took off to go kill the beast. And then the kids, along with Jacques and Jean, they went into the village. They were put into a home and put on beds, by which point the village doctor had come over and began treating both of them. Jean was alive, but just barely. He had lost a lot of blood, and the beast had grabbed onto his scalp and really crushed his skull, but he would ultimately survive. As for Jacques, it was a very painful wound that he had sustained on his stomach, but none of his internal organs had been damaged.
Hey, Miss, I don't know how to pronounce that name. I'm sorry if I mispronounced. It's like Hey, welcome to the stream.
Very painful wound that he had sustained on his stomach, but none of his internal organs had been damaged, and so he would also survive as well. As for the armed villagers, even though they very quickly got out to that bog where the beast was, when they got there, the beast was gone. And the beast of Gévaudan would continue to kill people for another 2 years, until June 19th, 1767, when a hunter happened to encounter it in the middle of a forest, and he shot and killed it. And by
Okay, Rage Face.
For another 2 years, until June 19th, 1767, when a hunter happened to encounter it in the middle of a forest, and he shot and killed it. And by that point, over 100 people had been murdered by this creature. The hunter would drag the carcass of the beast back into his village, and a doctor would perform an autopsy, but the doctor was unable to identify what kind of animal it was. It did kind of look like a wolf, a really huge wolf, but its body was just so misshapen, and its bones were too big, and it clearly walked on 2 legs, not on all 4s, and so there was never any definitive information about what this even was and how this even happened. But when they opened up its stomach, they did find human body parts. Jacques was one of the only people to have ever survived an encounter with the Beast of Gévaudan, and so he was celebrated all across France, and he quickly went from being the wet chicken to the little hero, and his story would reach as far away as Boston, Massachusetts. And in fact, Jacques' story was so well publicized that it eventually reached King Louis XV, and he was so moved by it that he invited Jacques to come meet him, and after meeting Jacques, he loved him and offered to pay for his entire education. And so Jacques would get to finally leave this little village where he never quite fit in, and he would move to northern France and enroll in a prestigious school there, and he would spend his days reading and writing just like he had always hoped for.
Wow, that's a good story.
Just a reminder, my very first book, Mr. Ballen Presents Strange, Dark, and Mysterious, The Graphic Stories, is out right now and shipping worldwide. You can find it wherever books or audiobooks are sold. This book is truly a brand new experience for anybody who's a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious. We've never had a book before, so this is a big deal. It's a collection of 9 stories. Some are new, some are old, but they're all awesome. The artwork is incredible. The storytelling is just superb. So if you have not purchased your copy yet, or you haven't bought it for one of your friends yet, come on. Go to book.ballenstudios.com or go to wherever books are sold and get a copy today. Again,
yeah, you kind of are shooting yourself in the foot, Keon.
that is book.ballenstudios.com or go to wherever books or audiobooks are sold to get your copy of our first book today. So that's going to do it. If you're looking for more strange, dark, and mysterious content, remember we have a whole slew of strange, dark, and mysterious shows. We have the Mr. Ballen podcast, Mr. Ballen's Medical Mysteries, we have Runful, Bedtime Stories, and Wartime Stories. They are all excellent, they are all free, and available on all podcast platforms. All you have to do is just look up Ballen Studios wherever you like to listen to podcasts, and boom, you can find them all and start your binge. Thank you very much. Until next time, see ya. Wait, don't go anywhere. If you're looking for more strange, dark, and mysterious videos, click here.
Building your online business? Go to Wix.com and set up your store on a single integrated platform. Add products, showcase them dynamically, and seamlessly track your
Well, that was actually a pretty damn good story. It went better than I expected it to be. I was afraid it was going to have a terrible ending. What? Keon, why do I want to go to your live stream after I caught you copying somebody's video? I think that I just reacted to you. I think you wanted me to react to it, but I reacted to it on somebody else's channel, which was, and that video was originally not yours. Okay, this will be. I'll probably do one more.
Today, we're going to look at.
Keon, we're not going to go to your live stream because of what you did. I just told you that. Okay then, Miss Incognita. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but that's the only way I can pronounce it. Yes, exactly. Alright. So far, 2 super chats. That was very nice of you guys. I might still do a members only chat stream, even though we didn't completely finish the goal of getting 5 out of 5 super chats, but that's alright. Okay, you can go live, but just so you know, don't expect us to go to it after what you did, okay? One more video, guys, and then I'll... Yeah, Shark's right, Keon. I'm sorry, but he's actually right. Like, we tried to be nice to you. We fucking tried. But you always do something else. All your money? Oh. That's all you had, dude? I'm sorry. I didn't know if that was all you had. You didn't have to do that. It was just... It was also a reminder that you guys can if you want to. Hold on. Violet First Fanatic. Yeah, I knew that Violet First Fanatic was gonna timestamp with that part. Went well, and I threw away. Threw clay, okay. Sorry if that was all your money. Okay. Okay. Good, if you can earn the money back, good, okay. I mean, yeah, you want to. It was your choice. I mean, guys, donating is a choice, not a demand. Okay? I don't know how much money you guys make. I don't know where you get your money from. And I don't know what you guys spend your money on. So, I don't know if you guys... It's fine if you guys rather buy a new video game than donate to me. That's totally fine. I'm just saying that, hey, this option's available if you really do want to support me. It's just me promoting it.
Today, we're going to look at 2 spooky stories about people's run-ins with terrifying creatures. But before we get into those stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place because that's all we do and we upload once a week. So, if that's of interest to you, please take the like button out to pet some furry, cute animals at the zoo, but instead of taking them to the zoo, take them to pet a pack of wild, hungry hyenas and stack their pockets full of hot dogs. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. And also, I am on tour right now, so be sure you follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is just Mr. Ballen, where you will see all the behind-the-scenes.
If she doesn't want to donate, she doesn't have to. Thank you, Rageface. Anyways, if your twin sister doesn't want to donate, she says no, that's fine, she doesn't have to. She probably doesn't know who I am yet, so it's completely understandable. Okay, there we go. Now I could look at the chat all the way over there. And I don't always have to use my phone. I can look at over there.
Magic of us being on tour. It's really good. Again, Instagram, Mr. Ballen is my handle. Check it out. Okay, let's get into today's stories.
Number 2, the Swamp Sucker. Okay, so there's 2 stories.
Just after midnight on May 1st, 1971, a 20-year-old woman named Elizabeth Ford was sleeping on a couch in the front room of a small house near a city in Arkansas called Texarkana. Elizabeth and her husband Bobby were staying at the house with Bobby's brother and his wife, who owned the house. Bobby and his brother were still both awake, and Elizabeth could hear them talking in the...
Yeah, he's an entertaining storyteller. He always goes into details of the stories, and he does it such a good job with it without screwing up. I'm pretty sure he's done a few takes of doing it, but he does it while remembering details without stuttering, because sometimes that's what I do. So show her to this live and have her introduce herself. Okay, if you can do it. If you can't do it, then that's fine. That's not on you. But yeah, Mr. Boland is a good storyteller. He picks these insane stories, and most of these stories can stick with you sometimes, which is crazy. So he's an entertaining YouTuber. I don't know why. I mean, I was so into Mr. Ballen back in 2021 when he first became popular, and a lot of people knew him more. Yeah, I used to stutter a lot too. And he would see, I'm pausing mid-sentences while I'm trying to talk. Anyways, in 2021, right when he was starting to become a bigger YouTuber, that was when I started to know about him. My dad told me about it, and I started to watch these videos, and yeah, he's an interesting YouTuber. I need to watch him more often, like I used to back in 2021, because he's a entertaining YouTuber, and I don't know why I stopped reacting to him, especially now there's plenty of videos to watch, and maybe if I'm bored as hell, I could actually watch this. So yeah.
Who owned the house. Bobby and his brother were still both awake, and Elizabeth could hear them talking in the kitchen quietly. The house was surrounded.
And I should do a Halloween stream of me reacting to his videos live as well.
Surrounded by woods and swampland. And Elizabeth had opened up a window above the couch, so a breeze was blowing in.
Or regular
Now, usually,
videos,
she slept really well with the sound of the woods in the background. But tonight, she was tossing and turning. And this was because, as she lay there trying to sleep, she became very aware of a unique sound coming from outside that was not the sound of, the trees blowing in the wind or the insects buzzing. This was something else. It was a slow creaking sound. And at first, it kind of sounded like it could be out in the woods somewhere, but eventually Elizabeth realized this creaking sound was sort of moving back and forth, right outside on the porch, below the open window. Suddenly, Elizabeth's eyes flew open and she looked at the window because this creaking sound had just intensified and then came to a stop.
Yeah, that's what I could do if I find the right time to do it when not a lot of stuff is going on. And maybe if I have to react to 4 videos, I'll do another live mega reaction. So yeah.
Stop on the immediate other side of this window, like there was something heavy right outside. Elizabeth sat up to face the window, but she didn't see anything outside through the screen. And so right away she felt totally relieved. She didn't know what that sound was, but clearly there was nothing there. However, just to be certain, she decided she would go a little bit closer to the screen and actually look right up close to make sure there was nothing down below on the porch. And so Elizabeth leaned forward and pressed her face to the screen and began to look. And as she did, this dark figure down below suddenly rose up and completely blocked out the window. And Elizabeth's looking at it, having no idea what it is. And before she could do anything, this huge thing slashed at the screen, and this big reddish furry brown paw with razor-sharp claws cut through the screen and nearly cut Elizabeth's face. Elizabeth screamed and practically fell over, and this dark creature outside turned and bolted and disappeared. And then a moment...
Me a pain, I'm going to come up there and I'm... What the fuck, Keon? That's a fucking threat, Keon. Oh yeah, I remember. That was summer 2023. That was when I started doing SML reactions in a more professional way than I used to a long time ago. If he commits that threat again, you guys, Shark, you can time him. Oh, you can't control it? Yes, you can, dude.
A moment later, Elizabeth's husband, Bobby...
I mean, I know I say some crazy shit when I'm pissed off, dude. But come on now. You don't threaten people to do... You don't threaten people. Even I know not to threaten people. No matter how much pissed off they could get at me. Like, hell, if I was in person and I wanted to beat the hell out of them, okay, that's different. But to come online, threaten to come to somebody's house and threaten them, that's way too far, dude. That's way too far.
Outside turned and bolted and disappeared. And then a moment later, Elizabeth's husband, Bobby, and his brother came running into the room asking what was going on. Elizabeth was so shocked at what she had just experienced that all she could say to her husband was, "It's a bear! It's a bear!" Bobby helped Elizabeth off the couch and then told her and his brother's wife to stay in the house and away from the windows. And then Bobby and his brother got shotguns and flashlights and went outside. Once outside, Bobby and his brother began scanning all around the porch area where Elizabeth had apparently seen this bear to see where it was. They held their flashlights out and they scanned the tree lines. They looked all over the place, all around the front of the property. But there
Oh, I'm 19 years old too, but I'm going to be 20 in about a month. Yeah, you better not play the victim, dude, because you're doing this to yourself, dude, okay? We try to be nice. We fucking tried.
out and they scanned the tree lines. They looked all over the place, all around the front of the property, but there was no sign of this animal. And so the brothers looked at each other and nodded, and then they both left the porch and went different directions, kind of looping around the back of the house. They were going to scan the entire property and meet up at the back. And when they met up at the back, they still hadn't found this bear, and so they walked away from the house towards the tree line and did another big sweep together of the entire perimeter, again looking for any sign of this animal. But there was nothing. And so after a while of circling the property, the brothers decided that, this bear must have just run off. And so Bobby and his brother returned to the porch to figure out.
Yeah, we don't hate you. We're just annoyed. Like that guy named Tinsley from on my gaming channel when we did the Minecraft survival at the first house.
Their next move. Both Bobby and his brother were hunters, and they knew that usually the best thing to do with the bears that roamed this area was to leave them alone. I mean, these bears could grow to be 500 pounds, and if they were provoked, they could run at 35 miles an hour. And so generally, you just stayed away from these things, and they'd leave you alone too. However, as the brothers were sitting there talking through what had happened that night, they both said, it definitely seemed like this bear was different. I mean, apparently it was aggressive enough to come right up to the house unprovoked and reach in and swipe at Elizabeth, which obviously was not normal bear behavior. And so, to Bobby and his brother, this meant that they really couldn't just leave.
Okay then, Rage Face, you don't have to be quiet.
Leave this bear alone. And so, to Bobby and his brother, this meant that they really couldn't just leave this bear alone. They had to go out there and find it and kill it.
Exactly, we're just annoyed, okay? We're just sick of your shit. Okay, dude. Alright. See you, dude. Thank you you've been on here long enough. Thank you, dude. I appreciate you going to watching the stream.
Just leave this bear alone. They had to go out there and find it and kill it to protect themselves. And so Bobby lit a cigarette to calm his nerves, and then the two brothers came up with a plan for how they were going to go find this bear. Bobby's brother would man the front of the house, and Bobby would man the back of the house. And they would stay in their respective positions monitoring the property until either they saw the bear and dealt with it, or until the sun came up, at which point they could go get help.
I'll be turning 20 in April.
They saw the bear and dealt with it, or until the sun came up, at which point they could go get help. And so after agreeing to this plan, Bobby took one final drag on his cigarette, chucked it to the ground, and then with his shotgun in one hand and his flashlight in the other, he stepped off the porch and walked around to the back of the house and stared off into the darkness.
This space battle made video game history.
Okay then.
Thousands of players flying player-built ships, each with their own story, ambition and agenda, real choices, real betrayals, real consequences. Join them today. Make history.
Bobby had only been in the back of the house for a couple of minutes manning his post when he began to smell this horrible smell. Now, at first he thought it was just some sort of wet, musky smell that came over from the swampland nearby, but as he continued to smell it, it got heavier and more pungent. It smelled like a wet, decaying animal. Bobby tensed up and aimed his flashlight up at the tree line and began looking back and forth, trying to figure out where this horrible smell was coming from. And as he was doing this, he suddenly heard the sound of tree branches snapping off to his left. And so he whipped his flashlight over and shined it, and he saw this big dark figure charging across the property away from him into the forest. Bobby instinctively raised his shotgun and fired, and then after shooting, a loud yelp echoed in the air, and then Bobby just took off running in the direction he had just fired, and as he's running across the yard, he's screaming for his brother, who had already heard the shotgun blast.
Okay, you're exaggerating, dude. You're not a sick monster. You're being immature, dude, and you're kind of being a little bit of a troll. And
So he was coming around the house, and the two men linked up, and as they're running in the direction of this bear, Bobby's telling his brother, I think I got it, I shot the bear. But they get over to where Bobby had last seen it and where he heard this yelp come from, and there was nothing, there was no bear. Still, the brothers did feel a little relieved. They figured even if they couldn't find this thing, clearly Bobby had hit it. He had heard the sound of it yelping out, and so maybe by at least wounding it, it would stay away and leave them alone. But just then, the men heard the sound of their wives screaming from inside the house. The men immediately ran back to the house, and as they got closer, Bobby again began to smell that horrible smell. And right as Bobby's foot hit that first porch step, his brother from behind him screamed out, "Stop!" But it was too late. The bear was on the porch. That's why the women were screaming. They had seen it, and Bobby's brother had seen it, but Bobby hadn't. And now he was too close to it to get away. And before Bobby could raise his gun to protect himself,
I thought you were leaving, Keon. I thought you were leaving. But yeah, I'd be pissing my pants right now.
this thing attacked, and Bobby felt this horrible burning, tearing sensation in his arm. He felt...
Am I like an app? I mean, you can donate on your phone. I don't know what phone you have, but you can also donate on your phone. I can do that too, but if you can't, you don't have to. No pressure. I'm just saying you guys can, let you know that the option's available if you want to find another way to support me.
To the ground, twisting wildly back and forth, trying to protect himself. He was pinned underneath this enormous bear, level with its chest, with its arms and legs on either side of him. And that horrible smell he was smelling was clearly coming from this animal. That's all he could smell from underneath. But just then, it was like a miracle, because to his side, Bobby could see there was an opening, and so he rolled and somehow got out from underneath this enormous creature. Bobby scrambled up to his feet, and he darted past the bear and rammed into the closed front door of the house. It popped open, he fell inside, and his wife ran forward and shut the door behind him, leaving Bobby's brother outside on the porch alone with the bear. But before any of them could do anything about that,
there's no Hydro Flask on the table. Me and my twin have a fan waiting for our ride since we finished last time. Okay, cool.
They heard the sound of his brother's shotgun going off. Then there was a long moment of silence. Inside the house, everybody was frozen. A few seconds later, the door slowly opened and Bobby's brother walked inside. Everyone was too shocked to say anything, so for a second they all just stared at each other, and then finally Bobby asked him, "Is the bear dead?" And Bobby's brother, with a trembling voice, said no. And that wasn't a bear. As soon as dawn broke, and it was not dark outside anymore, Bobby's wife drove him to the hospital, where they would treat him for shock and for the wound to his shoulder. They had hoped to find it somewhere on the property.
Go do your homework then.
Either dead or wounded, based on Bobby's brother's account of having fired at it basically point blank. But the creature was gone. They did find its tracks though, and this discovery made it clear that Bobby's brother was right, that this wasn't a bear. Because in the dirt surrounding the house were all these bizarre footprints and handprints of a creature that seemed to walk on its hind legs with 3 toes on each, and had 3 long sharp claws on its hands. And as
he already went live? Oh my god.
Unbelievable as this all seemed to the police, this actually tracked with what Bobby's brother said he saw when he was out on the porch.
That's right, Corn, you can.
The police, this actually tracked with what Bobby's brother said he saw when he was out on the porch. He said he saw a creature with reddish-brown hair all over it that stood over 7 feet tall, and after being shot, it took off running on 2 legs, and it ran fast. But the most terrifying thing about it, at least according to Bobby's brother, was actually its eyes. They were blazing red. And when the news of this attack spread to the nearest town, which was called Fouke, the people there knew exactly what this creature was. For 200 years, people in that part of Arkansas had been talking about this huge creature that was sort of like a Sasquatch that roamed the forest and the swamps. They said it was fast and elusive, and it ate livestock and pets. They called it the Fouke Monster, or sometimes the Boggy Creek Monster. But Bobby Ford and his family's encounter with this creature was unlike any other story that had been told about the Fouke Monster. While some people claimed in the past that this creature had attacked people, nobody had ever heard of it actually coming up to somebody's house trying to break in and terrorize a family. Bobby's ordeal would inspire the 1972 horror movie The Legend of Boggy Creek. Over the years, police officers in 72 horror break in and terrorize a family. Bobby's ordeal would inspire the 1972 horror movie The Legend of Boggy Creek. Over the years, police officers and some scientists have suggested that maybe what Bobby and his brother encountered that night was actually a feral pig. However, authorities have never actually been able to pinpoint what this thing was. Nobody knows. And to this day, hikers and hunters near the swamps of southwest Arkansas and also across the border into East Texas still report run-ins with the legendary Fouke Monster.
Yeah, this shit does look scary. I'm gonna quickly look it up real quick before... I'm gonna quickly look that shit up out of curiosity. Creek 1972 trailer. I can imagine how scary that trailer movie must have been at that time.
Here in this primitive river bottom wilderness in southern Arkansas, along with deer, duck, crane, and beaver, lurks a creature that walks upright. Whether it is a man, a monster, or a myth, no one really knows. What we do know is the people around Fouke, Arkansas say they have seen such a creature nearly 250 times since 1954. And that this creature, whatever it is, emits one of the most terrifying sounds ever recorded.
Yeah, that is terrifying. Oh, so that's from the footage from the movie.
There he is! Hold this, Bobby! Bobby, take a light!
This movie is rated... I mean, I get it. This was 1972. PG and PG-13 did not exist until that very year. PG didn't exist until 1972. PG-13 didn't exist until 1984 after after Temple of Doom and Gremlins. But I was expecting this to be rated R. I didn't think this was going to be rated G. I knew it was not going to be PG yet because of that rating didn't exist, but damn.
Legend of Boggy Creek, rated G.
Looks like the filmmakers did a pretty damn well job with this, especially for yeah. If this is a low budget film, it makes low budget modern films look like hell. The low budget modern films sometimes nowadays make low budget films like these look more professional. I thought it was going to be rated R, not rated G. I mean, of course, not PG or PG-13 because it didn't exist. Boggy Creek. How well did this movie do? Rotten Tomatoes. Ah, 45% audience score. Yeah, I figured it didn't get that much attention, but damn. The trailer was good. The noises was pretty creepy. Yeah, I could imagine how terrifying this was. Especially for a rated G movie. Okay, let's get back to the Mr. Ballen video. Then once I'm done with the Mr. Ballen video, I'll end the stream. Since it's getting late for some of you guys, and I know that some of you guys need to go to bed. Also, yeah.
And the whole team at Ballen Studios have created a special thank you to all you amazing fans for all your support. Now, you may have already heard about this, but if you haven't, my very first book, Mr. Ballen Presents Strange, Dark, and Mysterious, The Graphic Stories, finally comes out this year on October 1st. But that's not the thank you. The thank you is, for anyone who pre-orders this book, which includes 9 feature-length, amazingly illustrated stories, you will immediately gain access to a secret 10th story that's not in this book. This secret story is called A Forest So Evil, and it's really good. So here's how you get it. After you pre-order your book, whether you've already done that or you do it now, you're going to get a confirmation code. Go to the link we provided below and enter that confirmation code into the text box, but be sure you select the appropriate vendor beforehand where you pre-ordered it from, and boom, you will immediately gain access to this secret 10th story. I am truly touched at all the support you've shown me over the years, and so I really hope you enjoy this bonus story as a big thank you. Again, pre-order your copy today, and then head to the link in the description, enter your confirmation code to get that bonus 10th story called A Forest So Evil.
Why is everyone spiraling over YouTube banning ad blockers? Like, chill guys, just use Pi. It's a free Chrome extension, and it
I feel like a good movie cover just had to be simple, not that floating head shit. Yeah, just simple. Do you like crime stuff? I've been into mafia movies and TV shows like The Sopranos, Goodfellas, Casino, the new show Tulsa King. That's the best show. It's really good. Hellhound. All right.
On the evening of August 1st, 2015, a 20-year-old man named Fraser Baloyi walked alone down a main road toward his village in the South African province of Limpopo. Fraser was on his way home from work, and he was pretty desperate to get there. It was only about 7:30 p.m., and usually around this time, Fraser was used to seeing other people out and about on this road, just kind of walking around in the dusk or, chatting or doing various errands, but tonight there was nobody out there. And in fact, in recent days, this area of Limpopo had basically become a ghost town. Nobody went out unless they absolutely had to, because over the last 10 days, over 20 people in this area had been brutally mauled. The victims had all insisted that the creature that had mauled them was some kind of four-legged demon, and they had begun calling it the Beast. Now, Fraser considered himself a pretty level-headed person who did not necessarily buy into the hype around
The Marvel cover got so bad. I do like Spider-Man Tobey Maguire posters. Or posters, I mean, but it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same thing. I mean, covers are like to represent the movie itself. Well, posters are something you can hang up on your wall, and they're also hung up in movie theaters too, to let you guys know, hey, these are the movies that are playing and available. Or these are what the movies are going to be playing. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, and 15. Okay, how much time do we have left? All right. In 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna have to. My dad texted me if I wanted to watch the new Mufasa movie. Yeah, sure, I will.
Around this beast, he figured it was very likely just a dog. But still, he didn't want to get attacked. And so as he walked down this vacant road, he periodically looked over his shoulder just to make sure no dog was following him. As Fraser continued to walk along, he looked up and saw the huge forest fire that was raging on a mountain miles and miles off in the distance. A few days ago, the fire had started, and from Fraser's perspective, it still seemed to be going strong. In fact, in the darkness...
Oh yeah, the dark... Yeah, the dark... Okay, my sister will watch the Mufasa movie tomorrow, so that means... Okay, that means I don't have to be on the rush. The Dark Knight covers was good, too, like the one with the Joker spelling out why he's so serious with blood. Yeah, those posters, yeah, they're pretty good. Especially another Dark Knight poster with just Batman standing in the middle with the big, gigantic building behind him. It's all cloudy and looking all like thunder-like. And it's dark and it's more serious and a little bit grim look. That's also another Dark Knight cover that's pretty good too.
Yes, it almost looked like the mountain was glowing red. Just then, Fraser noticed the turnoff for the shortcut that would take him through some forest back to his home. And when he got there, he stopped and looked over his shoulder one more time to make sure he was still all alone, and he was. And then he stepped off the main road, into the woods, and into the darkness. Under the tree canopy, the night suddenly seemed a lot...
Hold on, let me do this real quick. There's some... Let me see if I can voodoo. Hold on. Or Fandango. Fandango at home. Am I still logged into here? I hope I am. Because I want to show you guys something real quick. Shit. Well, I can at least show you some movie posters that I don't like. Redancing. Look at this movie. Look at this movie poster. You see that? All it has is a watermelon. Like, really? That's the shortest part of the film. And I'll show you something too. Another thing too. Total Recall. Look at that. All it has is this little ball too. Alright. Young Guns. All it has is a holster. That's it. Like, really, dude? I don't like movie posters like that. So when you say that the Spider-Man Tobey Maguire posters, I don't know, you're probably not talking about these ones. I mean, like the Spider-Man 2 poster where Spider-Man is holding on to Mary Jane. If that's the one you're talking about, I can see what you mean by that. Yeah. Tell me if you agree if those newer movie posters I looked up and just show you that are crap that only shows one object. I like movie posters that show the main character or a group, at least 2, 3, 4 characters, depending, maybe 5, and put like a dramatic background that represents either the world, or the tone, the theme of the story, at least, or the mood of it, at least with that, something like that.
A lot darker. Fraser did his best to think about the chores he needed to do for his mother once he got home, instead of thinking about the beast. But he'd only been on this path for about 300 feet when he suddenly heard a rustling from behind him. And so right away, Fraser...
The ones you should are shaved. That's like 2 minutes of... Yeah, that's stupid. I don't like how they changed the posters like that.
stopped and turned around and looked.
Once I make movies, I'm gonna make sure my posters are not, my covers are not like that. It'll be something a little bit more than that.
Where the noise was coming from, but all he saw was darkness. There was nothing there. And so Fraser, for a whole minute, just stood there staring out into the tree line, waiting for something to move, but nothing did. And so Fraser told himself he was just being paranoid. Everything was fine. And then he turned back around and kept on walking. But pretty quickly, his walk turned into a jog. And he was almost to the end of this path, almost out of the forest. He could see his village. It was right there, when he heard noises behind him again. Except now, in addition to the rustling sounds, he heard a new sound. It was like a wee...
The only floating head posters is like Star Wars, the Star Wars ones. The only floating heads ones, are talking about like the newer Star Wars posters or like the older ones, like the ones from the early to the late to late 70s, early 80s, or you're talking about like the ones that shows Anakin Skywalker. I mean, I like episode 1 and then episode 3. I don't have any problems with episode 2, but I don't like how there's too much CGI and too much green screen involved. Oh yeah, they used to do covers painted too, like the Indiana Jones ones, which is also made by Lucas Studios. Yeah.
Wheezing sound, like a sick animal that was breathing heavily. Now, Fraser knew he was not just being paranoid. Something was out there, and it seemed like it might be following him. Without slowing down, Fraser looked over his shoulder again to see what was out there, but again, he just saw nothing. It was just shadows. However, when he turned back around and kept on going towards his village, he heard this loud crashing sound behind him, like a massive animal had leapt out of the brush and landed on the path behind him. And so Fraser was immediately so scared he couldn't even turn around. He just started sprinting toward the village, and all he could hear behind him were these loud, pounding footsteps as whatever this was gaining on him. And so Fraser was so instantly terrified that instinctively he just started sprinting off without even looking behind him. And so as he's running, this thing's gaining on him, and again he can hear this awful wheezing sound coming from whatever this is, as if there was something wrong with its lungs. And in Fraser's panic, as he's sprinting through the forest, Fraser's telling himself, it's just gotta be a rabid dog. That's...
Oh, really? Hold on. Let me look at that up real quick. It's called The Phantom Menace, isn't this right? Star Wars, The Phantom. Yep, yep. Okay. Obviously not the. I wish I can make this larger. Obviously not this new one, of course. Open image to new tab. Hopefully it'll get a little, there we go. It's a little bit bigger now. Maybe this is a different poster that you're talking about, but I'm trying to. Okay. Keon, you can go live, but we're not going to watch your stream because of what you did. Okay, Anakin. Hold on. Shadow poster. There we go. Oh. I see. Let me open this to new tab so it can be a little bit larger so we can see it better. Yeah, I see. Yeah, that's a little bit... even though it's broad daylight, that does look a little bit creepy right there, because it shows what Anakin Skywalker becomes when he turns to the dark side. So yeah, I can see why you like that, but it's a little bit creepy, but yeah.
That's why it's making those sounds. But he knew that didn't track. This thing is huge. This can't just be a rabid dog. And so Fraser just kept on running, and finally he got out of the trees, back into his village, and at the exact same moment, the pounding footsteps behind him came to a stop. But again, Fraser, he didn't turn around. He's too scared. He just ran for his door. His house was right there in front of him.
Yeah, it's pain, but good. I like that. Like, all it shows is Anakin Skywalker and a little bit of a desert background and like a wall next to him, but showing a shadow of Darth Vader behind that. It's little but creepy, little enough, it's subtle enough by Rage Face, but it's subtle enough to where it can still creep you out a little bit because it's giving you a small hint that, hey, when Anakin Skywalker gets older, he's gonna become Darth Vader once he turns to the dark side. So yeah, that's a little bit creepy. It's you're right, I see what you mean. I don't know, I don't think I can join you, Keon, still. Anyways, as I was saying, yeah, it's plain, it's simple, but it's a little bit enough showing that one shadow is enough to make you go, whoa. It's creepy, but I like it that way.
Exact same moment, the pounding footsteps behind him came to a stop. But again, Fraser, he didn't turn around. He's too scared. He just ran for his door. His house was right there in front of him, and he gets to his door. He's about to open it up, and right as he does, he feels this searing pain in his neck. This creature, whatever it was, had leapt and grabbed onto him and bit down on the back of his neck. And so Fraser crumpled to the ground and threw his arms up over his head to protect himself, and with one eye, he can see it's this massive black creature on top of him, chewing on the lower half of his face. And so Fraser, he couldn't even feel any pain. He just began screaming for help, and he tried to push it off of him, but he couldn't. And then a second later, a flash of metal came across his eye as his mother and other villagers who had seen this happening and heard him screaming came out and began smashing whatever this was with shovels. And so a second later, Fraser's pulled away and dragged towards his house, and this huge...
Oh yeah, okay, dude. Damn it, Keon, don't say it. Well, dude, if you knew not to say it, dude, then why the fuck did you put that on the chat?
Black creature, it marched over to the edge of the tree line and just stopped, turned, and looked back at Fraser and his mother and the neighbors. And Fraser, as he's sitting there in total shock, he can tell that whatever this thing is, this enormous dog-like creature, this had to be the beast. That's what just attacked him. And in this moment, Fraser realized, this creature may have the shape of a dog, but it was not a dog. South Africa has its share of wild dogs, jackals, and hyenas, and typically they're multicolored and fairly small. And this thing was jet black, pitch black, and gigantic. And when this thing first started chasing Fraser, he'd had that panicked thought that maybe it was a rabid dog. But rabid animals are typically lethargic and confused. And this thing that was 15 feet away from them was absolutely alert and calm. The only thing sick about it was that horrible wheezing sound it would make as it breathed. And as Fraser and his mother and the neighbors just stood there staring at this thing, this creature just continued to stare back at them with piercing eyes.
Yeah, it's still common sense, dude. I mean, I know I said some stuff when I was younger because of my autism that I am not proud of, that I don't need to say, dude. But even at 11 years old, it's still common sense, dude, okay?
Eyes, and its eyes were not normal. These were not like animal eyes or dog eyes. They were too small and set at the wrong angle, and there was real sentience behind them. They were human eyes.
When it comes to video creation, every detail matters. I go to artlist.io for music that matches my vision. Or options.
I know you're 12, Keon, okay? I never forgotten about that. I always known that you were a young kid before you even told me your age, because I knew the way you typed. I said I'm still not joining because of what you did, dude. You kind of fucked yourself out of it, dude.
and there was real sentience behind them. They were human eyes. Just then, Fraser's mother grabbed Fraser and yanked him, kind of jerking him back to reality, and he scrambled to his feet, and he and his mother and the two neighbors, they took off running back into their respective homes. All the while, this creature just sat there on the edge of the forest, staring still in the direction of Fraser and his home. Once inside of Fraser's house, his mother immediately dialed the emergency.
Dude, one, I'm not gonna react to I'm not gonna react to any videos you make because of what you did. Dude, how many times do I gotta tell you? I'm not happy with what you did, okay? You told me to react to one video that I already reacted to a year ago. You took someone's work and you expect me to react to another one of your videos after that shit, dude? No.
Of Fraser and his home. Once inside of Fraser's house, his mother immediately dialed the emergency number to tell the police about what had just happened, but the police told her they were not going to send people out there to deal with some dog. And so Fraser's
all the first videos, the Chromebook, because the one I did before, but I took a video that was re-uploaded in order to make that first sin video. Dad shoots son in the butt over foul mouth. The one where William puts laxatives on both Andy and Bill. Still, dude, you're probably just saying that just so I could still react to it. That's 3 videos I know that's been taken down from Violet First. And Blind Hunter, you know that I'm gonna be the Daylight Savings Meltdown. Everything Wrong with Daylight Savings Meltdown is gonna be premiering on March 9th, right? Don't miss it.
His mother decided she would just treat her son's wounds on her own until this dog-like creature had left, and then once it had, she would get him a ride to the hospital. However, as Fraser and his mother stared out the window at this creature, it didn't leave. It just sat there staring back at Fraser and his mother with these hideous human eyes for hours and hours. Finally, in the morning, it was gone. The attack on Fraser was the last straw for the people of his village. They believed the creature that had bit his face
maybe if I can find it. I think I saw it before. I don't know.
Was the last straw for the people of his village. They believed the creature that had bit his face was the demon beast that had hurt so many other people. And so the elders of Fraser's village came up with a plan of how to deal with—
Dude, one, I don't trust you because you told me you made a video that you clearly didn't make, you just re-uploaded it. And another thing, you're probably just saying that somebody has the same account as you and has uploaded it to your account just to make me react to it after what you did. So no, dude, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You're not changing my mind.
With this beast. And so a few days after the attack on Fraser, this group of elders went off on a journey up into that mountain that Fraser had seen off in the distance that had that huge forest fire on it. And they were there for 2 whole days before returning to the village and telling everyone that they had successfully performed a ritual that had appeased their ancestors, and so hopefully now the attacks would stop. And sure enough, they did. They did not see the beast again. At least 40 people in Limpopo had encountered the beast at some point, either because they were attacked or they helped fend it off, like the neighbors did with Fraser. But because this beast was never caught, and it did stop attacking the village and just kind of disappeared, nobody ever actually figured out what it was. To this day, people in Fraser's village maintain that this creature was a demon and that it came down from the burning mountain, because every person, including Fraser, who had encountered this beast, noted its wheezing, heavy breathing, as if its lungs had been damaged by smoke. In all, at least 40 people in Limpopo encountered this beast, either because they were attacked or they helped fend it off. But because it was never caught, there is no definitive proof of what it actually was.
Damn. They took a picture of that dude's face, of what happened to his face, but they couldn't take a picture of that monster. It would have been nice if they did. then we could actually see it.
As many of you may know, the biggest event to ever come out of Ballen Studios is fast approaching. Starting September 26th to October 20th, I will be on tour. I'll be visiting 15 different cities across the country, delivering the strange, dark, and mysterious to you all, live and in person. We did one sold-out show last year in Austin, Texas at the Paramount Theater. It was sort of like to see
Austin, Texas, I've been there before.
If people liked it, and it seemed like people loved it, so we decided to take that format and run with it. On this year's tour, just like in Austin, Texas last year, there will be some OG classic Mr. Ballen stories, and some brand new stories that nobody has heard yet. They're going to be really good. Now, tickets for these 15 different stops have been selling really quickly, but there are still tickets available in cities like DC, Chicago, and Houston. So if you have not gotten your tickets yet, go to tour.ballenstudios.com to see if there are tickets available in a city near you. Again, to get your tickets to see me tell stories live and in person, go to tour.ballenstudios.com. Thank you, and I hope to see you all at one of my shows.
Wait, don't go anywhere. If you're looking for more strange, dark, and mysterious videos, click here.
If you want women to F with you, then you have to know how to F with women. And by
Alright, that's it. Alright, that's it, guys. That's it for the stream. But before you guys leave, I need to show you guys something. Alright. These videos will come out during the on the like the 7th or 6th anniversary. I found a upload video, but when did they actually get taken down? I don't know when. It's been a long time since I've seen that video. I really wish I could solve this problem. I don't know why it says
the one video that all you sons of bitches have been waiting for.
I don't know why. I don't know why. Chat revenue, $3.99. Let's go. That's not much, but that's good enough for now. That's more than I've made. That's the biggest I've made so far. I'm being stubborn. I'm being stubborn, dude. Dude, I just told you I'm not reacting to it because of what you did. You're the one who's being insisting me to do it. Oh, I know what video that is. The one where they tied William to the chair or duct taped him there, and then set the Xbox on fire, smashed it in front with an axe in front of him. That's another video that's been taken out that I forgot to mention about.
Everything wrong with William's daylight savings meltdown.
Alright, this video, the Disaster Project. Oh shit, a new SML video got uploaded. I'll react to it tomorrow, guys, I promise. I'll react to it tomorrow. Sometimes SML posts videos when it's a little bit too late, or if I'm in the middle of something and I have to react to it tomorrow, or maybe I'll react to it after the stream when I'm done. Are you threatening me, Keon? Are you threatening me? Anyways, I'll react to it maybe either after the stream or tomorrow. It depends. This is going to premiere at March 9th, 4 o'clock Eastern time, but it might be 5 o'clock if after daylight savings. So go ahead and stay tuned. Stay tuned for this stuff, guys. All right. I will now be posting early access videos now that some of you guys are members of early access to Everything Wrong with William's Daylight Savings Meltdown. But you said this is your final chance, so if I don't react to it, then what, Keon? But yeah. There's also a, there usually is a super thanks. Hold on a second. I'm just showing you guys another way you can also do this. You can also do a super thanks. That's another option if the video is done premiering and it's too late and it's not, or if it's not live. That's another way you guys can do it, letting you guys know that you can. Alright, so don't miss the premiere, alright? But don't worry, if you guys want to talk to me while we're watching this, alright? Alright. Thank you guys for watching the stream. I'm glad that you all watched it. You guys are so fucking awesome. Alright. Alright. Thank you. I'll see you guys later. Bye.